to get in the
David.
door.
These nights that we take pressure of the lighted day of our central time, non-central
And the
time,
lamb hearted
for we
state
still
of
say
all the
of our
sheep's
feet
float.
to be of the horizon. To be of this time, I take of the horizon to take of my time to speak of the anointed one of the new anointed one, of which we know of our name, or which we have already slaved for, or which we have known of ash. For which we have known for the anointed day, for which of which we have known of ash. For which of these angels of which we have they have been now been plucked down, for which of the light of which they have of their Corinthians. For of all their Corinthians of all which we have not entered for our day of all which our oath for which we have all celebration for the revelation of our Samuel 15:3, for which we have all very straight of all other than mother. Whole fire spirit of all which the Lord had tormented me upon her, which I have of already of all which I have of all my own bounty. Which of all which I have which of all my own bounty, which of all my own bounty of all we plead light of the widow. Plead light of the widow of which she had made of her fountain state of which we have known her to be of all Rosa. Her fountain state of all Rosa tell me of all which she have all known of all which of all God which she have all betrothed me. You showed me not of all the lately of all which was the excitement of my temptation. Cycle of all temptation there is no God bounty for which God had given me, for which he ever had none of his begotten seed. Oh, for God is the only barrier of which he ever calling upon the door roof, upon to make him of all bounty, or which we have not known of all which of all berries. She abound now of all which she have her burden now, knowing that which she have all took upon her secrets to be a night upon this door, which of all which of all she of all which she have not of all the too lately of all which she have known to be read ye other than wife, mother, or none daughter. Well, upon these doors of which we have all very raised upon the sleeps which David had laid upon, of which we have not most upon Abraham. Hope Allah had brought us of all which we have came for which our kingdom dwell. Hold for which there is of all the merciful which the Philippians of all which they have not be grass of the tyrant who takes down of all which we have known to be of all of Aaron. Hold for Aaron have two none put down of all various streets, star for which they have cultivation of which they have grass be of all north. Hold for they grass be me of all north for which times the which they have built me of all my hands of which they have be a rocket for my bouncing foot. Hold for my bouncing foot of which knee street straight of all which I have of all the kingdom for which I have spite might of all the regeneration of God. Hold for God be of all be unto me of all for which the will dwell me for which of all the hydro or no the non hydro of all sin. Hide the hydro of all sin which of all was that bounty of all which we have not made you of all none to do. Hold for we must not admit you none to do for which there are none flesh to be of all which we have must be of all the none are flocking. Hold for which these birds they break of all do they of all break of all twist of all which we have not known for the sacrament of all the celebration of sown wines. Hold for these sown wines of all which was the grain grail couple which we have not known of all the sacration of all polio, lamb, goat, and we have it be a revelation on to all civilization take over all which have known with streets of all now to be a none butted head. Know that we have all none butted head for which we have all taken upon these revelation that our bears of all the covenant for which we take these of all by lay cracker tea of all which we have took of his riding door. Hold for his riding door grace of all which we have took upon his grass of which he had budded. All for which he had budded his grass, all we had taken his grass, of all which he ever pleased him for, which his grace of all the better side. Plead not for these brothers, of all which we have known of Meshach, Reshach, and Abednego. All for Meshach had took the all which he had told them of all Aaron to be of all Adam of Aaron unto of all Adam. Hold for Adam of revelation he died, for which there is none to be the of all grace other than the begotten of the widow. Hold for the begotten of the widow had no other to be a slave of all crown down, done, dog, or to of all be all the thrust of sin. Hold for the greater gravity the sin is none of all which will have literacy be a yes to Yasin, Yahweh, David, which we have known of our night of Jehovah. Know which we have known of our night of our 9 nights of Jehovah. Know that our spirit of the Lord had tormented him of all which his skin for of her skin play of which he had brought him of Jesse of the son of Jesse of Jose of which we have of the mountain of the firstborn. Oh, for Jose, house of the firstborn, for which we have a plea none like, for the kingdom for our mastery. Oh, for Jose has of a born, for which we plead not for our mastery, for which we have known of all which I adore. Oh, for we say of all our bounty of all as we Jones, as well for which the very batten, of the heaven brightum, of the golden, of the variation, of the sheep-eyed, of all the golden of the golden lamb. The golden lamb of the liberation of all which we have none street, for which we have not bounty, for which we have not known, for we must be of all which they have of all struck. Hope for which they have not of all struck me none, to of all which I have of lake of journey. Hope for lake of journey had brought me back after the soul of all which we have bound, which we must see of all David of all our Goliath. Hold the day of the is of none of all Goliath's temple, and I know of all not of all God, but I am not of all which these men who morph upon their bodies and their upon the atonement of their souls. All for this book of which of all covered her back then, the Cain did not pick upon him, but she still has of all no chastity. Travels to be meeking of which she has chosen of all fish of home. That he have of all chosen of fish of home, we have of me racked him of all none be asking as he has fallen upon down of his third eye. Whole over he pearled of his third eye as David passed him, as he placed down of all breast button, as he of the lion, of the gated button, of the free breast, of the hologation, of the herd bearer to of all sin. What had David have not woken upon the lion's den? Whole high he of all wish of all God of all just. Whole of all the Joe thing of all Nathaniel. Hold your thing of all Nathaniel of all. I have a non-soul jealousy for David, so I ask of all which we have God, of all the Mariam which they have gave of all Zachariah. The father which have taken of all Boaz, that we have taken of all Jose, of all which we have taken of all J had candidate letter first. Hold for the kingdom of which with Joshua laid upon the door of the garden of all Moses, which is the club of which he have all set down his staff, so he must not cannot be of all which he have all taken. But for which I made that a door for which a man had breached not, siege not, and still have not command of his bounty. Hold for of all Israel, of all the true man, of all Israel, of all the cloth of soul, of all Jonathan, that David still has none of all jealousy, of all which Cain had of all friendship. Hold for woman of all their soul, king soul, for which he had of all which not known, that we take of all David to bring on, of which we have known of canon letter of J, if we still speak of his name, if you hold of his name and know of his name, and hold for war we war. Hold for God had gave me no other bounty for which he have Amak in me, Amelk, Amac, Amac, Emac, Omac, Emac, Viom, which we have not immortal of. Hold for which we have not immortal of which bounty have we have not bid, of which we have breathed them. Ignore for which Samuel, of which we have bought him. Hold for which we know of this door there at least once of the stroll of Samuel's, of all Samuel 1 and 2 there which we have of all the beak of the meat kingdoms, of which we have known of her Pharisees, of which she has spitted upon her feet upon her clothed door, but her veneration of Allah had told her that the Levi, of all which my bounty there which we have of lake of the sin of John, of to be of mean that they of Allah that they of the graces of the most bountiful. Hope for days of over day for which which they had brought me none to bring me of all my bearer. Hope for they have not brought me of all my bearer day to of all which they have not told me of all my Burton city. Hope for a Burton city for which they have of all which is the 90 of all which we have still met and still have not claimed of all for which we have known of our clouded door. Hope for our clouded door for our clouded childed door which we have must be open. Of our daughter state which we have known of her job that which we know not known, but which she had must be cheating me first, so I had looked upon mother. Hold for daughter had Jesus pleaded me first of our bounty of our rest upon her God, that I had sent to my need to be asked upon my wife. Hold upon her jet that be had got to God over which she know of this. Hold up above goddesses of all my imperial bounty, of which lake of fire, of which I know have known, that I am of already of my blood stride of a vine, of which we have known for of which we have had on all of my father, for which we have break them, of his sleep of all Boston, and of all the one that is rich, of all Parker, of all Berean. Hold for what there is of all know of the grace of all, for which church have had told me none, that I have all told it myself, son too. Hold for my 2x2 state God have bridged me, for which there is not over a door, cause I have abjured my words to be above lightning, of all which were there, of all which the Allah had at least be, of all the frowning book, of all the Quran. Hold for this frowning book of deep print of all Samuel, that which brings your breed you of all the Bible. The Bible of all his holy state of all which we have of all which we have now of our cancer door that we bring you of all our late son of gin of wines. Of our late son of our gin of wines of all which this door, if you feel like none to please them, that you must have of all greed flesh, that you must be of all greed, and that you must be of all these words that you speak Latin, and that we jig and that we have out of all the pentium of. Hold for which we have not bridged thee. Hold for these two separate bridges that we have only no other bridge other to bring you of all which we have known, of all which we have known already of Zion, which we have will we taketh thee. Hold for which thee taketh thee of all these sins that we taketh thee of not. Hold be a treasure for which these places that we break of you of our Zakat, of our realm. Hold for God had breathed revelation of her upon his suppers, of all which was the day she had left, of all which she have not a cloak of upon his door and upon forgotten. He taken forgotten upon his door and tells him, of all my meat flesh day God had will bring me of all for which he had bringing you of this bounty door of ninth and of all the Solomon temple of Jabhabra Lazarus. Lazarus of all which we have known, and Michael of all David, for all this we spend of the now tense name. Lazarus of all which we have Lantham of all which the Lavador, left a Hazarus of all the Lazarus of her Hazarus door. Hold for which we have of all she have not of all Joaz, of all which we have not Benton, of all the crest backwards of all Jose, of all which we have of any of every passage, to know of his canon letter of her Haitian of his Spaniard name. Oh, for God gave me many bounty for which there is of only of which the daughters speak of all wifedom, motherdom. And the bearers of all the penalty of Phantom. And the bearers of the penalty of Phantom of those of which we have clothed of this house of all woman that which we have with me still of a year ahead the servant. Haiti have not bring me not Haiti not bring me not Haitian of Herod and I bring down to the wound of her name. Bring down to the wounds of her name of which she had better job of her first son of who she had burned upon her own fashion of her known always covet. Hold for her always covered, but that which was one of those meek days of which she have known, of which she had taken a water pill, servation of her blindom, took upon her rear oath and said that she would take upon that she knows that she's not of all 29 weeks, and that she knows that she is of none thrust for a whole thrust of 3 months. So she must be said the planetary of all the placenta sac, or the derivation of a non-distilled womb, or non-distilled sac of these seed, whole for which we have not the divine bounty, of over the relation that we have can't bring of a bounty of Adam, of over which we have bring him a birth from first birth from son, of over the still me a bounty of the death of his first son. Hold that Allah has no bitten